Now, here in France, there has been a record-breaking summer. 3 heat waves, 33 days of intense temperatures, and officially then the driest summer since records began. To discuss, our Environment Editor Valérie Dekimpe, who's been covering the issue all summer, is with me. Valerie, welcome to the programme.
Hi, Nadia.
You've been doing a new episode of Down to Earth. It's coming out this weekend, and you've been reporting on how tensions are running high in parts of France over water access.
That's right. Yeah, we decided to look at how water has become a source of conflict in some parts of the country. And there's one story that's garnering quite a lot of attention at the moment, and it's the construction of so-called mega water reservoirs. And they're like massive swimming pools like you can see here. And the water there has been taken from groundwater. So it's essentially water underground from rainwater that's infiltrating the soil. And so the objective of building these water reservoirs is pumping the water in the winter, fill the reservoir, and then let farmers use it in the summer when they need it the most. And so it sounds like a good idea, except that there's an obvious problem with water evaporating once it's been left out in the open, especially in the summer with 40 degrees Celsius, for example, like we've seen during this summer. And so that is why these reservoirs are now the heart of a fierce battle between farmers and environmentalists who are saying, this is a water grab. And we met with the head of an NGO who has been campaigning against water reservoirs. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Ici, on est sur une zone où il y a de très vives tensions sur la question de l'eau. Nous sommes les résistants. Je suis un des porte-parole du collectif citoyen Bassines Non Merci, qui est un collectif contre les projets de généralisation des méga-bassines, qui très clairement consiste à un accaparement de l'eau. La grande maladie de notre territoire, c'est qu'aujourd'hui, on est en train de voler l'eau de tout un territoire et tout un écosystème au profit de quelques-uns. Depuis que la SEV 17, la bassine située à moins d'1 kilomètre d'ici, a été construite, eh bien, on a décidé de rentrer en désobéissance civile. Des actions assumées de dégradation de matériel d'irrigation, de débâchage, de désarmement de bassines. On a lancé un ultimatum à l'État. Si le moindre travaux de bassine vient à démarrer dans les semaines ou mois qui viennent, nous convergerons par milliers pour stopper de manière définitive ce projet et tous les projets qui viendraient par la suite.
And Valerie, a question many people may have watching that is, how are farmers supposed to actually water their crops if supplies are running so dangerously low?
Absolutely. And we know that the surface area of cultivated land that needs to be irrigated has actually gone up by 15% in the last 10 years here in France. And so this sets a worrying trend, especially considering that the agriculture sector already uses up about half of France's freshwater reserves. And so one of the options available is finding alternative solutions in order to water crops. Drip irrigation is the most effective solution, at least according to scientists who've been studying this. It is, however, the most expensive. Essentially, it's a pipeline that allows water to drip onto the ground directly at the root level. And so we met with a French farmer who grows a special variety of corn used to make popcorn. And so that crop in particular sells for a higher price compared to conventional corn. And so that allows him to invest in this technology, which is quite expensive. And it does work. He has been able to reduce his water consumption by at least 50%. But again, the catch here is that it's expensive, and so not all farmers will be able to put this in place unless the government provides some sort of help.
But Valerie, why can't we just draw water from other sources?
We can actually. The water we flush down our toilets, for example, is one option as long as it gets, cleaned up properly before we can safely repurpose it for agriculture. And we traveled to Montpellier as part of our report as well, and we met with scientists who are working on this. One scientist is testing wastewater irrigation in vineyards, so watering grapevines with wastewater, but also conventional fresh water, and comparing the two options. They want to find out, of course, if the grapes grow well, if there's an effect on the soil, and obviously there's a question of health, if this could have an impact on consumers. So that is one of the questions that they're trying to answer as part of their research. You need to bear in mind, however, that France is lagging behind compared to other countries in terms of repurposing wastewater for agriculture, for example. Just 1 to 2% of sewage water is actually being reused compared to Italy, for example, it's 8%, Spain about 14%, and even Tunisia up to 25%. So it is a promising solution. It's been done in other countries, but don't expect this to become widespread as it will also require massive investments to transport all that water that's been cleaned up to farms where it's needed the most.
Lots of interesting issues. Valerie, thanks very much. When can we catch the show?
On Saturday at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, first show of the season. Thanks very much. Valerie Dekimpe.